Welcome back to the BookCast. Today we are unpacking every layer of the incredible novel Wuthering Heights. Get ready for a deep dive into its characters, themes, and all those hidden meanings behind the story.
It's definitely more than just a love story, isn't it? Though, wow, what a love story.
Oh, absolutely. It's intense, but it's also, really gothic, exploring obsession, class, human nature, all tangled up.
Yeah, it's about this cycle of violence almost, and despair.
Yeah.
And it asks, I think, can that cycle ever really be broken?
Exactly. So settle in because we're heading deep into the wild Yorkshire moors and, well, the pretty wild souls who live there.
The stranger at the heights, Lockwood's unsettling arrival.
Okay, so let's unpack this first part. The story kicks off kind of unusually with this new tenant, Mr. Lockwood.
Right, Lockwood. And he describes himself as, what was it, exaggeratedly reserved.
Yeah, a city gentleman. Apparently he got this reputation for being heartless because he just sort of shrinks away like a snail, he says, if anyone shows interest.
Yeah. So he's looking for quiet solitude, this retreat into the wild Yorkshire moors. He leases Thrushcross Grange.
But then, maybe not the best first move, he decides he absolutely must visit his landlord.
Mr. Heathcliff.
Yeah.
At Wuthering Heights. An imposing place, even just the name.
Right, and what he finds there is, well, it's a lot more intense and unsettling than any party he ever tried to escape in London.
Oh, definitely. And what's fascinating is how fast the atmosphere of Wuthering Heights hits you. It's almost like the house itself is a character, reflecting that harsh landscape.
Totally. From the second Lockwood arrives, it's just unwelcoming, hostile even.
Yeah, Heathcliff's greeting, walk in. Lockwood notes it said, through closed teeth.
Like he's really saying, go to the deuce, which Lockwood picks up on.
Even the gate doesn't cooperate. Lockwood says it manifested no sympathizing movement. Brontë uses these details straight away. The teeth, the gate, those awful dogs.
Oh, the dogs, sullen, savage dogs that immediately threaten him.
It sets that gothic mood instantly. It's not just impolite, it's this raw, almost violent energy simmering right there.
And Lockwood, even though he's reserved himself, he's genuinely thrown by finding someone more exaggeratedly reserved than myself. Heathcliff is just different.
Completely different. It shows how outside normal human interaction Heathcliff really is.
And it only gets stranger sore. Lockwood, bless him, tries to make small talk, even after getting bitten by one of those dogs.
Which Heathcliff seems almost proud of.
Right. Then, disaster, he gets stuck there in a snowstorm, he can't leave.
So he's trapped, forced to observe this really bizarre family setup.
Totally bizarre. You've got Heathcliff, the grim master, then this beautiful young woman.
Who he assumes is Mrs. Heathcliff. Big mistake.
Huge. He notices she's got this exquisite face, but her eyes show scorn and a kind of desperation. You already sense something's deeply wrong.
And we find out later she's Catherine Linton, Edward's daughter, Heathcliff's daughter-in-law. Complicated.
And then there's Hareton Earnshaw, this rustic youth. Lockwood thinks is just a servant.
But he's actually the son of the previous owner, Hindley.
Lockwood even jokes, sort of ironically, about feeling out of place in that pleasant family circle. Pleasant, it's pure dysfunction.
Exactly. And that raises a really important question Brontë poses. Why does Lockwood get it all so wrong?
Yeah, what's going on there?
He's a city guy, used to clear social rules, right? But Wuthering Heights just throws all that out the window.
So when he assumes the young woman is the wife,
Heathcliff gives him that almost diabolical sneer and asks, where is she, my amiable lady? Like she's a ghost or something. It's chilling.
and then he makes another blunder, thinking the rough young guy, Hareton, must be Heathcliff Jr., the young woman's husband.
Right, the one drinking his tea out of a basin.
Okay.
These mistakes instantly show you how twisted and hidden these family ties are. It's all built on hate, revenge, secrets, not what Locke would expect.
It also kind of pokes fun at Lockwood himself, maybe. He admits he thinks he's tolerably attractive.
Yeah, maybe he's projecting his own world onto this completely alien environment. His city smarts are useless here. It tells the reader, pay attention. This isn't straightforward.
But okay, that first uncomfortable night, it gets way darker. He has this dream. Well, dreams, actually.
Yeah, the dreams. Yeah, more than just nightmares, really.
First, he dreams he's in this chapel listening to some endless sermon by Jabez Branderham.
And then the congregation attacks him. It mirrors that pent-up violence in the house, doesn't it?
Totally. But then he sort of wakes up, dozes off again, and this is the really creepy one. The ghost.
Catherine's ghost.
Oh.
Or, well, he reads Catherine Earnshaw in an old book first, but the ghost says Linton.
Yes. And she's trying to get in the window, wailing. She's been a waif for 20 years. lost on the moor.
And Lockwood's reaction,
Yeah.
it's brutal.
It's horrible. He describes scraping her wrist on the broken glass until the blood ran down and soaked the bedclothes. He's terrified, but so cruel.
Yelling, "I'll never let you in."
Yeah, it's genuinely terrifying.
But that dream, it's so much more than just a fright. It's this incredibly powerful, symbolic intro to Catherine's spirit, her torment, her connection to the house, and especially to Heathcliff.
That line, "I'm come home, I'd lost my way on the moor," it's heartbreaking.
It suggests she's eternally restless, right?
Yeah.
Can't find peace because she's separated from her true home, which isn't just the building, it's Heathcliff.
Wow. Yeah.
It foreshadows the whole central tragedy. Her ghost is this potent force still influencing everything. Brontë uses the Gothic here to show how obsession and loss endure.
And Heathcliff's reaction when Lockwood tells him about it later, the anguish.
Oh, absolutely. He dashes a tearaway, curses Lockwood. It shows how raw that wound still is for him, a love that literally defies death.
So after all that, Lockwood is, understandably, completely freaked out.
You would be.
He says he's quite cured of seeking pleasure in society, country, or town. He thinks a sensible man just needs himself for company.
Which is ironic because he wanted solitude and walked right into this emotional hurricane.
Exactly. But even though he wants to be alone now, he's hooked. He needs to know the backstory of this crazy household, the pretty girl widow, the dark master.
Curiosity gets the better of him.
So he asks the housekeeper, Nellie Dean, to, spill the beans.
And boy, does she deliver. Nellie's narrative is our window into the past.
Echoes from the past, Nellie Dean's story begins.
So Nellie takes us way back, explaining how this whole tragedy started. She knows it all. She lived through it.
Right. She introduces the Earnshaws at Wuthering Heights. Mr. and Mrs. Earnshaw, their son Hindley, and daughter Catherine. Seems normal enough at first, right?
Yeah, relatively. A bit rough, maybe, but a family.
Mm-hmm.
Until Mr. Earnshaw goes to Liverpool.
And comes back not with the fiddle Hindley wanted or the whip for Cathy.
No. He brings back this dirty, ragged, black-haired child he found starving on the streets.
Heathcliff.
Yeah.
Just appears. Foundling.
Mr. Earnshaw felt he couldn't just leave him there. But bringing him into the Earnshaw home, that changes everything. Yeah. Instantly.
Mrs. Earnshaw is not happy. Calls him a gypsy brat.
Right away. And Hindley, the son and heir, he immediately hates Heathcliff. Sees him as a total usurper.
Stealing his dad's affection, his place in the family. That bitterness starts young.
It really does. But Catherine, she's different. Initially, anyway.
Yeah, she and Heathcliff become like two peas in a pod. Inseparable. Wild kids.
Nellie describes Heathcliff as seeming uncomplaining as a lamb back then.
Ew.
But she smartly notes it was probably hardness, not gentleness. He just endured things.
Even while Cassie and Hindley were apparently tormenting Nellie herself.
Yes. But that core bond between Cathy and Heathcliff forms early, set against Hindley's immediate resentment.
And that resentment is fueled by Mr. Earnshaw, isn't it? His favoritism towards Heathcliff.
Oh, massively. Nellie calls it painfully jealous favoritism. He elevates Heathcliff, dotes on him, which just pushes Hindley further away and makes him even more bitter.
It plants the seeds for everything Hindley does later.
Absolutely. You see glimpses of Hindley's cruelty early on, like cuffing Heathcliff over the horses.
Or smashing the fiddle he promised Cathy, just crushing it. That's pretty chilling.
It totally foreshadows the tyrant he becomes later. And all that cruelty Heathcliff endures, that's what fuels his lifelong need for revenge. It's a vicious cycle right from the start.
But Cathy and Heathcliff's bond, it seems so elemental, primal.
It really is. They're described as these wild spirits, escaping chores to just run free on the moors. Together, always together.
Even barefoot, Cathy racing him across the rough ground, they have their own world.
Tied to that wild landscape. And then one night, they see the lights from Thrushcross Grange.
The Linton place. And they decide to go spy on them.
Curiosity leads them to this glimpse of a totally different world. And that glimpse changes things.
Yeah, talk about contrast. Wuthering Heights, wild, passionate, raw.
Barbaric, yeah. Emotions totally unchecked. Nature rules.
And Thrushcross Grange, splendid, Nellie calls it. Crimson carpets, chandeliers. Looks all refined and proper.
On the surface. But what did Cathy and Heathcliff actually see?
Edgar and Isabella Linton fighting over a little dog. Screaming and crying.
Exactly. It immediately undercuts that refined image. Shows the pettiness underneath the polish.
Cathy and Heathcliff just despise them for it. Call them idiots.
Heathcliff makes that famous declaration, right? He wouldn't trade his life at the Heights, even with Hindley's abuse, for Edgar's pampered existence for 1,000 lives.
He sees right through their fancy manners to the emptiness.
Total contempt for their superficiality.
But then, disaster strikes. Seems small, but it's huge. The Linton's dog.
Skulker. Bites Catherine's ankle. Badly.
So she's forced to stay at Thrushcross Grange to recover. For 5 weeks.
Immersed in their world. Oh, Heathcliff. He gets chucked out. Called a foul-mouthed thief, a wicked boy.
Dragged away by Joseph, cementing his outsider status.
That incident is the pivot. It forces Catherine into this other world, introduces her to its comforts, its status, a world Heathcliff can't share. It starts to pull her in 2 directions.
Crossroads and choices. Love, ambition, and departure.
So Catherine comes back from the Grange, and she's changed. Visibly.
Yeah, no more wild, hatless little savage.
Now she's this very dignified person. Ringlets, feathered hat, silk frock.
The whole 9 yards. Nellie says she's much improved.
But that outward change, it signals a deeper shift, doesn't it? Those social aspirations start pulling her away from Heathcliff, from her wilder self.
Like when she worries about getting her fancy dress dirty from the dogs. Small thing, but telling.
Exactly. It foreshadows that huge internal conflict. She's seen this other life of comfort and status, and it's started to tempt her. Creates this gap between who she is and who society says she should be.
And meanwhile, Hindley, he's just getting worse.
Oh yeah, after old Mr. Earnshaw dies, Hindley's the master, and his first move is to really degrade Heathcliff.
Bans him from being with Kathy, forces him into hard labor, treats him like dirt.
Total systematic oppression.
Yeah.
And it's under this pressure that Heathcliff makes that vow, right?
The chilling one. Leaning there, plotting. I'm trying to settle how I shall pay Hindley back. I hope he will not die before I do.
It's not just anger. It's cold, calculated.
Yeah.
A promise of lifelong revenge that he absolutely keeps.
Yeah.
Fueled by that humiliation.
Then things take another dark turn for Hindley when his wife, Frances, dies.
Right. Soon after their son Hareton is born. It seems quite sudden, just a slight cough, but it breaks Hindley completely.
He just spirals. Nellie says he goes into reckless dissipation.
Neither wept nor prayed. He cursed and defied.
Yeah.
Hits the gin and brandy hard, becomes this awful, tyrannical drunk.
Which just makes life even more miserable for Heathcliff.
And fuels Heathcliff's determination for revenge even more. It's this awful feedback loop of suffering and cruelty. Hindley, wronged by his father, now inflicts worse on Heathcliff.
Okay, now we get to the really crucial part, the proposal.
Edgar Linton, the refined gentleman from the Grange, he proposes to Catherine.
And Nellie sees Catherine's looking gloomy, tries to get her to think straight about it. She senses something's wrong.
And Catherine just lays it all bare, that internal conflict. She admits, in my soul and in my heart, I'm convinced I'm wrong.
Wow. She knows it, even as she considers it.
She knows, which leads to that incredible famous confession scene, striking her head and chest.
Here and here, meaning her soul and heart belong elsewhere.
Exactly. She lists the reasons for marrying Edgar: handsome, young, cheerful, rich. Admits she wouldn't love him without those things.
Brutally honest about the social calculation involved.
But then she talks about Heathcliff. And it's completely different. A soul connection.
I am Heathcliff.
Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. That's the absolute core of her tragedy, isn't it? Choosing Edgar for status and comfort.
While her actual soul is tied to Heathcliff.
Nellie even points out the superficiality. You wouldn't love Edgar without his money and looks. It's a devastating critique of how society pushes people into betraying their true selves.
Choosing comfort over authenticity.
And paying a terrible price.
But the absolute killer twist, Heathcliff overhears part of it.
Oh, God, yes. The worst part.
The part where she says marrying Heathcliff now would degrade her. Equates him to some wild creature.
He doesn't hear the I am Heathcliff part, just the rejection based on class.
He's shattered, humiliated, and he just vanishes. Runs off into the storm that night.
And his disappearance triggers everything else. Catherine is consumed by guilt and grief, makes herself incredibly ill.
Delirious, refusing food, seeing things.
And Edgar, despite her state, despite her calling for Heathcliff, he nurses her so devotedly, holds her, tries to comfort her, shows his own quiet, kind love for her.
A total contrast to the storm inside Catherine. But the damage is done. Heathcliff is gone.
The specter of return, Heathcliff's transformation, and Isabella's plight.
Fast forward 3 years, and then bam, Heathcliff returns.
And he's different, completely transformed.
Astonishingly so, not the rough gypsy plowboy anymore. Nellie describes him as tall, athletic, well-formed, And he has money, mysterious wealth.
Where did he get it? Nellie wonders if he joined the army or became a pirate.
We never really find out, do we? But his presence now is imposing, enigmatic, and it immediately throws everything off balance again, especially between Catherine and Edgar.
Catherine's reaction is just pure joy, over the top.
Ecstatic, throws her arms around Edgar, panting, "Heathcliff's come back, he is!" Like she needs to cling to Edgar to believe it.
But Edgar, he's not happy, visibly annoyed. Even suggests Heathcliff should stay in the kitchen.
So dismissive. He never struck me as such a marvelous treasure. You see the cracks in their marriage just explode open right there.
That fragile peace they had, gone, shattered by Heathcliff just walking back in the door.
Heathcliff says he's come back mainly to deal with Hindley, who's gambling Wuthering Heights away to him.
Claims he wants to be near Catherine, tells Nellie he needs quarters nearby because of his attachment to the house where we live together.
But his real motives are much darker, aren't they? It's revenge. Pure, calculated revenge against Hindley, and now the Lintons, too.
It becomes horribly clear with Isabella Linton, Edgar's sister.
Poor Isabella. She gets completely infatuated with this new, mysterious, brooding Heathcliff, despite Edgar warning her off.
And despite Catherine's warnings, Catherine is brutal about him.
Tells her straight. He's a fierce, pitiless, wolfish man. He'd crush you like a sparrow's egg. Warns her he'd only marry her for her money. Calls him an unreclaimed creature.
Trying desperately to save Isabella from him.
But Isabella doesn't listen. Thinks Catherine is just being selfish or jealous.
And she elopes with Heathcliff, runs off with him.
It's a catastrophe for Edgar. He completely disowns her, cuts off all contact. Nellie's horrified, feels like Isabella is a lost sheep heading for destruction.
And Heathcliff, this is just step one in his revenge plot against Edgar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hitting him through his sister, his family honor.
Precisely. And what happens to Isabella at Wuthering Heights? It's just harrowing. Proof of Heathcliff's cruelty.
She suffers terribly. Psychological torment, even physical abuse.
Nellie describes her return hair streaming, face scratched and bruised, a cut under her ear. It's horrific.
She talks about the violence there, Hindley trying to kill Heathcliff with a knife and gun, Heathcliff just ruthlessly turning the weapon back on him.
Isabella finally declares, "He has extinguished my love effectually." Utterly broken.
It shows Heathcliff's true nature. Catherine was right. He used Isabella purely as a tool in his revenge. No feeling involved at all.
None whatsoever, just cold calculation.
The cycle continues: loss, new generations, and lingering shadows.
All this turmoil, Heathcliff's return, Isabella's elopement, it takes a huge toll on Catherine's health.
Her already fragile health just collapses. She deteriorates rapidly.
Experiences delirium, sees visions of her childhood on the moors. She starts longing for death.
But not a conventional death or burial. She doesn't want to be with the Lintons in the chapel.
No, she wants to be buried in the open air with a headstone, out on the moors. Back to that wild freedom she felt she gave up.
She even says that line, "If I were in heaven, Nellie, I should be extremely miserable." Her heaven was Heathcliff, that wildness.
And through all this decline, Edgar remains devoted, doesn't he?
Incredibly devoted. Nellie says he looked at Catherine's changed state with horrified astonishment. He holds her, tries to soothe her even when she's raving, and doesn't recognize him at first.
It highlights his quiet, deep love, even if it wasn't the passionate storm she shared with Heathcliff.
Absolutely. His suffering is profound too, just quieter. He's trying to comfort her right to the end.
And then the end comes. Around midnight, Catherine gives birth.
To a daughter, also named Catherine, young Kathy Linton. A premature baby, 7 months.
But just 2 hours later, the elder Catherine dies.
Never really regains full consciousness, does she? Her last thoughts seem to drift back to childhood, not really focused on Edgar or even Heathcliff in those final moments.
Leaving behind this tiny baby in this huge, unresolved mess.
And Heathcliff's reaction to her death. It's one of the most powerful, terrifying scenes in literature.
Utterly consumed by grief and rage.
Frightful vehemence, Nellie calls it. Stamping, groaning, cursing Catherine for leaving him, for choosing Edgar, liar to the end.
But then begging her ghost.
Haunt me, be with me, always take any form, drive me mad, only do not leave me in this abyss where I cannot find you.
I cannot live without my life. I cannot live without my soul.
It's beyond grief. It's this absolute consuming obsession that will drive him for the rest of his life. He genuinely believes she's still there, haunting him.
He even tries to dig up her grave that night.
Yeah, wants to feel her presence, make sure they're still connected somehow. It's terrifyingly intense. This love is his entire existence, and its loss fuels his destruction.
Meanwhile, Isabella manages to escape Wuthering Heights for good.
Flees south, near London. And there she has Heathcliff's son.
Linton Heathcliff. She raises him away from his father, protecting him.
Until she dies, when Linton is about 12. Then the poor boy is brought back north.
To Wuthering Heights. To his father, setting up the next generation's tragedy.
Exactly. The sins of the fathers.
Mhm.
Or, well, the passions and hatreds.
And we also see what's happened to Hindley's son, Hareton.
Oh, Hareton. Yeah, Heathcliff's revenge on Hindley plays out through him.
Heathcliff deliberately keeps him uneducated, right? Turns him into a brute.
Just like Hindley degraded Heathcliff, Heathcliff relishes it, says, "Now, my bonny lad, you are mine. And we'll see if one tree won't grow as crooked as another."
He wants to completely reverse the social order, have his descendant owning the land, hiring the Earnshaws and Lintons as servants.
Total calculated generational revenge.
Uh-huh.
And old Joseph, the servant, kind of helps, doesn't correct Hareton, making him worse. It seals Hareton's ignorance and isolation.
A new dawn. Young Catherine, Hareton, and the final act.
So, young Kathy Linton grows up at Thrushcross Grange. Pretty sheltered, right? Doesn't even know about Wuthering Heights or Heathcliff initially.
Yeah, Edgar tries to protect her from all that darkness. She has a relatively happy, innocent childhood. Light compared to the gloom over at the Heights.
But you just know fate's going to intervene in this book.
Always does. She wanders off limits onto the moors one day.
And bumps into her cousin, Linton Heathcliff.
She's initially quite taken with him, isn't she? His delicate looks, even though he's sickly and peevish.
Total contrast to her own energy.
Hmm.
But Heathcliff sees this meeting.
And sees his chance. A new path for revenge. He needs to control Thrushcross Grange.
So he hatches this plan to force Kathy to marry Linton.
Exactly. Linton is just a pawn. Heathcliff despises his weakness, but needs him to inherit the Grange after Edgar dies, which Heathcliff knows is coming.
He's ruthless about it. Threatens Nellie, intercepts Kathy's letters.
If you give me any pertness, I'll send them to your father. Total control. He sees Linton as just a whelp, a tool to get what he wants. No affection there at all.
And those meetings between Kathy and Linton, they're painful to read.
So uncomfortable. Linton is just weak, whining, manipulative, constantly complaining.
And cruel underneath. He tells Kathy, "I hate them all," meaning Hareton and the servants. Even lies that Catherine hated Edgar.
Vicious stuff. Kathy, with her compassion, is just bewildered by him. She tries to be kind, but he's impossible. She even pushes him once in frustration.
Which causes him to have a huge coughing fit, highlighting how fragile he is.
Yeah, setting up his eventual death.
Edgar realizes what Heathcliff is up to, tries to change his will to protect Kathy's inheritance.
Tries to put it in trust so Heathcliff can't get it through Linton, but Heathcliff outmaneuvers him.
Uses a crooked lawyer, Mr. Green, who delays everything until Edgar dies.
It shows Heathcliff's reach, his corrupting influence. Edgar dies defeated. And soon after, Linton dies too.
Leaving Kathy trapped at Wuthering Heights. Dispossessed. Heathcliff has won. Both estates are his.
He's achieved his goal, but it's a hollow victory, isn't it? His revenge is complete, but the grief for Catherine still consumes him. It brings no peace.
But then, finally, a glimmer of hope with Kathy and Hareton.
Yes, the potential to break the cycle, though it doesn't start well.
No, initially Kathy's awful to Hareton,
Yeah.
scorns him for being illiterate, laughs at him trying to read his own name.
Calls him an idiot, a dunce. It mirrors her mother's snobbery, that class prejudice.
And Hareton reacts badly, burns his books in shame.
But Hareton, underneath the roughness, he has potential. Nellie calls it a wealthy soil. He's got this innate goodness that Heathcliff tried to crush.
So can love fix this? Can it conquer all that hate?
That's the big question here. And slowly, yes. Kathy starts feeling remorse for being so mean, her sauciness.
Tells Hareton she wishes he really was her cousin, her
But
friend.
then she starts teaching him to read, patiently, sharing her books.
And their connection grows. Nellie sees it becoming radiant.
Hareton blossoms. His honest, warm, and intelligent nature starts to emerge from the clouds of ignorance, spurred on by her kindness.
They form this alliance based on affection and respect, not destructive passion.
It's the novel's ray of hope. Empathy, education, connection, overcoming generations of malice.
And seeing this transformation in Hareton,
Yeah.
it messes with Heathcliff, doesn't it?
Profoundly. Hareton starts to resemble Catherine Earnshaw, especially his eyes.
Heathcliff sees her in him.
He admits it to Nellie, says there's a strange change approaching. He's lost the ability, the desire to enjoy destroying them.
I have lost the faculty of enjoying their destruction, and I am too idle to destroy for nothing.
His whole purpose is gone. He's just haunted by Catherine's ghost, sees her everywhere in everything. He can't continue the revenge. His obsession with her basically paralyzes him.
So he descends into this final decline.
Yeah, a total obsession. Stops eating, isolates himself, seems to be constantly communicating with Catherine's spirit.
Says his soul's bliss kills my body. The longing is literally consuming him.
His only remaining wish is to be buried next to her. Even gives instructions for his coffin to be open on that side so they can physically merge in death.
His last moments are filled with visions, that gleam of pleasure in his eyes.
As if he's finally achieved that union he craved. He tells Nellie he's nearly attained my heaven. It's a disturbing end, but maybe for him, a release.
And then Nellie finds him dead. In Catherine's old room, window open, eyes wide.
Looking like he found what he searched for.
He's buried next to Catherine, as he wished. His death finally truly breaks that cycle of torment he perpetuated.
An end and a beginning.
And with Heathcliff gone, that darkness over Wuthering Heights just lifts. The cycle of revenge is over.
It allows for hope. For Kathy and Hareton.
The last survivors. They're free now to build their own future together.
They plan to marry on New Year's Day, symbolic fresh start, and move to Thrushcross Grange.
Leaving Wuthering Heights behind, mostly empty, just old Joseph rattling around. Their union represents that triumph of love, forgiveness, education, over all that hatred and ignorance.
A powerful contrast to the destructive love that started it all, shows that even the deepest cycles of pain can be broken.
Resilience, connection, a new dawn, really.
And there you have it. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us and this story. If you enjoyed it, a simple like or subscribe helps the channel out more than you know. Be good and take care.